Hey guys, so today's video I'm going to be doing the ride or die tag video that Jaclyn Hill created. I've actually been seeing a lot of people since that video came out is doing like ride or die makeup tutorials. If you guys would like to see a tutorial of me using all of these products, let me know and I can do like a get ready with me style, just real chill, chatty video. That way you guys can actually see how they look on. As you guys know, I make a lot of like favorites videos and recommendations. I need you guys to know what is good from the drugstore, what's good high end. And I like the idea of this video because it just kind of narrows it down to that one favorite that has worked out for me for a really long time that I feel comfortable recommending to you guys, and I just know that I really enjoy it, I love it, I'm gonna keep repurchasing it, and so on. With that being said, I do have quite a few favorites in here that I have used for a year or more, and there are a couple of things that are pretty new to me, only because when I transitioned into cruelty-free makeup, there were quite a few things from like Maybelline, L'Oreal, MAC that I used to love and use for years that I had to end up replacing once I switched over. So there are a couple products that may seem like new products, but they have been the best that I have tried so far that are cruelty free. So yes. I'm just going to try to stay in the order of the way I would do my makeup, or at least like stick with like face, eyes, and lips at the end. And the first thing starting off with is a primer, which was a really tough decision for me because I have a drawer full of primers. I am a primer junkie. I like using primers for different things, obviously. So it's really hard for me to narrow it down to just one because a lot of my primers are for specific foundations, for specific skin issues. Specific is such a hard word for me to say. But the two most universal primers that I have found are these two right here. The first one is the Too Faced Hangover RX Face Primer. This is a really great hydrating primer. I love pairing this with my more matte foundations, which is what I'm wearing today, or it works with even just like a tinted moisturizer or a BB cream. I absolutely love it. Another favorite of mine is this one by Yes2, and it's actually their post-shave cooling balm. I think it was like last year it started. A lot of people were using the Nivea Men post-shave balm, including myself. I pretty much almost went through an entire bottle, and then when I went cruelty-free, I was like, man, Nivea is not cruelty-free, so I need to find a good alternative. And this one, I believe it was Tashina from Logical Harmony. She mentioned this. She did it like in a haul video. It pretty much works the same way as the Nivea Men one. Glycerin is the second ingredient. So it's really going to help your makeup last a lot longer throughout the day. So those of you who are cruelty-free, this is a really great alternative. It feels very cooling on your skin. It kind of has this minty feel to it. I will say if you do have some pretty fresh breakouts on your face, it will feel a little bit tingly. It's not going to sting, but I've really been enjoying it, and I found that these two are the most universal ones. Wow, I feel like I've just rambled on. It's probably going to be a pretty chatty, long video, so yeah, sorry. Now moving on to foundation. Now this is pretty new to me, so it feels weird to say this is like ride or die, holy grail foundation, but is the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. And to be honest, if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation. And pretty much they are the same foundation, except this is like an upgrade. It's like more full coverage, it's even more matte, and it looks even more flawless on the skin. You can shear it down if you want to use like your beauty blender, but me, I love that full coverage. It's what I'm wearing right now. It gives me a very flawless finish, covers up everything, especially right now when I'm dealing with some breakouts. For days, just like regular makeup days and not really wearing a lot, the NYX BB cream, I've repurchased this so many times. And this I just squeeze a little bit in my hand, rub it in with my fingers, and I'm good to go. Obviously, since it is a BB cream, it's not going to give you a lot of coverage. So loud. So unnecessary. I mean, it's a good base just to kind of even out your skin tone, and then I just go in and conceal what I need to. And that I find is the perfect match for just like everyday wear. Keep in mind, I do have more normal to dry skin, so I don't really have an issue with my makeup wearing off throughout the day, but that holds up a good 8 to 10 hours on my skin. Now, as for my favorite concealer, there's no question about it. It is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. It's a pretty new product to me. I discovered it maybe about two and a half months ago. I actually have two shades. I have it in the color Fair and Light Medium. I'm actually wearing both of them today. To be honest, I have never used a high-end concealer as my everyday concealer because I normally just like to use my drugstore ones every day and just save my high-end ones for like special occasions or like when I'm doing like full glam makeup, you know what I mean? But these, I mean, I've just forgotten about every concealer that I own, and I've just been using these. It dries down to a matte finish, to where if you are someone who has dry skin and you don't really need to set your face with powder, you won't even need to set these concealers because they just dry down themselves, which sounds bad, but it doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look dry underneath your eyes. I don't know what Tarte did, who was responsible for this concealer, but I absolutely love it. Now, I believe the next category was favorite under eye setting powder and face setting powder. I don't have a favorite face setting powder, only because I haven't really found that perfect face powder, and the other ones that I have been using are not cruelty free. I'm just kind of trying to use up what I have in my collection, so I'm just going to skip over that and talk about my favorite under eye setting powders. And if you have been watching my channel for a while, these will be nothing new to you. They are both by NYX. And this is the HD finishing powder in the color Banana. I've literally probably gone through at least 10 of them. I use mine in the color Banana because it adds just a little bit of brightness underneath the eyes, especially for those of you with paler skin and you find that a lot of Banana powders are way too yellow for you to set your under eyes with. This just has a tiny bit of a yellow tint to it, so it doesn't really look too intense underneath the eyes. And if you are into baking, the NYX color correcting powder, also in the shade Banana, is perfect. I've used this many times as well. I've repurchased it many times. They are only 10 bucks. Each of them are only 10. I've kind of changed up my under eye routine, which is, it just sounds so weird saying that, but I've been using the Midnight Banana powders. This isn't quite as yellow as the Midnight Banana powder, so I like going back and forth between the two, and this one has definitely been the one I've used the longest. For at least like a solid year straight, I use this. Moving on to bronzer, which is another one that I just really, it's hard for me to pick that one all-time favorite. There are a lot of bronzers in my collection that I love. I do really love this, but I feel like there might be better out there. I'm always on the hunt for something better than what I'm using. This one is by Physicians Formula and is their bronze booster, and I have nothing really bad to say about it. I love the fact that it looks a little bit more neutral. It's not quite as warm and orange tone as some of the other bronzers that I have used in the past. It blends out very nicely, and I mean, like I said, there's nothing really I can say bad about it. I do love it. It's what I'm wearing today. I also really love using face powders. Like if I just pick out a deeper shade than my skin tone. I had one from BH. I dropped it, of course, and I used to use that one as a bronzer. Probably repurchased that one because it was just so smooth. That's what I love about using face powders as bronzers, just because they just blend out so effortlessly and it never looks patchy on the skin. Now these next two ones I'm going to talk about are like no-brainers for me because they're the ones that I reach for pretty much every day, or like one shade from these. They're by Milani. This is their baked blushes. If you guys have watched my tutorials, chances are I've used this one, especially in the color Rose d'Oro. I love this color because it's kind of copper and it has a little bit of pink in it, and I love the Milani baked blushes because they have that nice sheen. Like, I love a matte blush, but I love glowy blushes that just kind of just blend in with my highlights and make my cheekbones glow. And of course, I gotta talk about Luminoso, which was, I think, the first Milani blush that I picked up. Skin tones deeper than mine can pull this off, or even paler skin tones than me can pull this off. So I think it's a very universal blush. They're not overly pigmented, so you can go a little bit more heavy-handed with them, and they last a really long time on your cheeks. So I feel like blush a lot of the times is the first thing to go. Another no-brainer for me is my favorite highlighter, which is kind of surprising because I have so many highlighters within my collection, but this is definitely my favorite combination. And as you guys will see, I mean, I have pretty much like beat these products up because I've used them so much. The first one is by ColourPop, and it is their Electric Slide Cream Highlight. And as you guys can see, I have hit serious pan on this highlighter because I've used it so much. I love using it as a base for my golden tone highlights, which is pretty much what I use on a daily basis, is a gold highlighter. This just adds the perfect base for that because it's really going to help intensify your highlight and make it stick and last a lot longer throughout the day, which is what I love about these. On their own, they're not crazy pigmented, but I'm okay with that. I just use it as a base, and I usually top it off with my Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator from Laura Geller. And this is in the color Gilded Honey. And as you guys will see, I've pretty much like broken it because I've hit pan on it pretty much just around the edges, so that's what I kind of broke apart. You could use it dry, it's great, or you can crank it up a notch, use it wet, and you're done. We'll just go ahead and move on to my favorite contouring powders. And I actually have two, because it's just difficult for me to choose just one favorite. I couldn't do it for everything. This one is by Wet n Wild and is their Mega Glow Contouring Palette. This I think is my third or fourth one of these. I love both colors. The contouring color in this one is just a little bit warmer, so I actually kind of use this like a bronzer. If you just went in like with a blindfold and swatched these powders and just felt the texture of them, you would think they are high-end because they just feel so buttery soft on the skin. All I know is that they are bomb and they are really inexpensive. I think this little duo is only like $4. My other favorite, of course, is the Kat Von D Shade Light palette. I have used this guy up. This little middle contour color is what I use to contour today, and I always deepen it up a little bit with the darker one. And as you guys can see, I pretty much used up all of the banana powder in here. I cannot wait until she comes out with the refills because I will definitely be refilling those two middle colors. And probably the banana powder in this Kat Von D one is the best one I have ever tried. But the next best thing is definitely this one from Wet n Wild, which is a lot cheaper. As far as a finishing spray, now I have two. I have sprays to help my makeup last longer throughout the day, and my sprays to kind of finish things off and make it look a little bit more natural, because sometimes by the end of it, once you have on your foundation, concealer, powders, blush, contour, highlight, like everything, it can look a little bit powdery, especially if you have more dry skin. You need a good finishing spray to help just kind of those powders and everything and melt them with your skin and make it look a little bit more natural and less cakey on your skin. And my favorite that I have found is by Heritage Store, and I am so happy I picked this up because it is very inexpensive. I'm actually out of this. I'm ordering 3 bottles today because I cannot go on without this. That sounds really dramatic, but I absolutely love this setting spray. It is rose water and glycerin, and they do have just the rose water spray that you can purchase at Whole Foods. I think it's a little bit more expensive there, obviously, no surprise there, but I order mine off iHerb.com, and this is basically what I'll use as a finishing spray. Sometimes I'll just finish it off with this. I won't even use a setting spray. It's pretty much what I have found the closest to Max Fix Plus. If you were to compare the two side by side, I think they would just look the exact same on either side of my face. And like I said, I'm just so happy I found it because it's only like $5. I'll link it down below in case any of you guys are interested. It's not sponsored at all. iHerb don't know who I am, but I'll just link it down just to make it a little bit easier since, I don't know, in case you guys have trouble finding it. Now as for setting sprays, I've had this one longer, but it's now my third one of these. This is the Smashbox Primer Water. It is silicone free, alcohol free, and oil free. And basically, since it is a primer water, you can use this as a primer. Duh. You can use it to kind of hydrate your skin, kind of like a finishing spray, or you can use it as a setting spray to prolong your foundation, your makeup, whatever you're wearing. I like using this more as a setting spray, surprisingly. I do like using it as a primer, but I just feel like it doesn't really do much for my skin. Maybe if I already prime my skin, just a little topper, if I'm being like, you know, more high maintenance that day, I'll use it as a primer. But all in all, as a primer, I don't find that it really does much for my foundation. But I do find that it does help my foundation last longer throughout the day using it as a setting spray. So that's what I've really been enjoying. Another one is by Wet n Wild. It is their Photo Focus Setting Spray. Like I said, this is my third one, I think. It is a pretty small bottle, so I find myself going through them pretty quickly. I love this spray because it is a very fine mist. Go ahead and put a little on. Oh, okay, it doesn't smell good. No. But I do find that it does help. It actually helps my makeup last longer throughout the day. I just sprayed like one half of my face, and actually at the end of the day, the half that I sprayed did look more fresh and was a little bit more put together at the end of the day versus the side that I didn't use this spray. So I will say it actually does help prolong your foundation, but I don't find that it works as like a finishing spray or anything. It's not going to make you look dewy. It's not going to help you stay matte throughout the day. It just really helps lock everything into place. Now as for the eyes, it was difficult for me to choose an eye palette because if I'm really talking about my favorite eyeshadows, it's going to be the shadows that are in my Z palette, which is cheating because it's kind of like a custom palette that I have created, but in it are mostly Makeup Geek and Anastasia eyeshadows, which are my favorites. By far, Makeup Geek eyeshadows over anything probably. They're so affordable, and I mean, they're up there with my Anastasia eyeshadows and better than MAC eyeshadows in my opinion. They just blend out very easily. So many colors to choose from. I have now pretty much switched this Z palette, which is like my everyday palette, to just matte shadows. I have like all my shimmers, metallics, everything in other palettes. But if we're talking about that #1 favorite palette, would definitely be the Modern Renaissance palette, which is, I feel weird saying because it is a newer palette. I've only had it for I think like 2 months now. But honestly, there's never been another palette that I have reached for this often and that I could just use this one palette for just one look. I've never had a palette like that. I mean, I have my Morphe 35O, and to be honest, I rarely ever reach for that. I have other Anastasia palettes that I don't even reach for. There's just so many shadows that get neglected ever since this one came along because it has everything I would need. It has everything from your transition colors to your outer corner eyeshadows to your all over the lid shadows. Like everything you would need is in this palette. I don't know if Anastasia has changed up the formula, but I find that these just blend out like butter. Alright, last thing here is finishing off with my favorite lipsticks or liquid lip and stuff. I don't have a favorite lipstick because to be honest, I really don't wear like actual lipsticks very often anymore. There are a couple that I'll reach for every now and then that I do really enjoy. But for every day, I do wear a liquid lipstick. As you guys might have seen when I talked about my favorite nude lipsticks, this was my all-time favorite combination. So obviously, I gotta mention it in this video. And this is the NYX retractable lip pencil in the color Nude. I love this lip pencil. I think I have like, I don't even know how many backups I have of this, but I never want to be without this again because the one time I was lost. I didn't know what to do. And I love pairing it with the Ofra liquid lip in the color Bel Air. This is like the old packaging, so mine's like super beat up now. There's like not even anything, the label's all rubbed off, but surprisingly I still have a lot of product left, it feels like. Hasn't dried out, so this has held up for such a long time, and that's been my #1 combo for I don't even know how long, like over half a year for sure. And the last one is the lip glosses, and I couldn't just pick one because there are, you know, there's different glosses for different colors. This one is by NYX, and is their Intense Butter Gloss in the color Peanut Brittle. Now, if I'm going for a more warm tone nude, kind of like something I have on right now, this is the color I would go for. It's very creamy, it's very opaque, so you really don't even need to layer a lipstick underneath. Make this color pop because it is very intense, like the name says. I love the formula of these. They feel very buttery, like the name says. They're very long wearing, just very comfortable. They're not sticky, so I really like those. And if I'm going for a lighter nude gloss, these would be the two I would go for. Is the Buxom, what is this, a lip cream in the color White Russian. It's like a pale pinky nude, but not too pink, because I don't like super pink nude gloss. I just don't feel like it flatters my skin tone very well. And actually a very close color to White Russian and a lot cheaper is the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in the color Fairy Floss, which is a sheer formula. They look very glossy, very juicy, and they're perfect lip toppers for like when you're doing a lighter nude lip. So I've really been enjoying these. I'm wearing a ColourPop one right now that I really like. So yeah, just had to mention those. And that is it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like this was very long, very chatty, so I apologize for that. But if you guys would still like to see a tutorial using these products, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe I'll come up with something, even though I feel like I've used the Modern Renaissance a lot lately. And I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of tutorials using this palette. But if you guys would like to see a talk through tutorial, get ready with me, just let me know. Of course, if you guys make YouTube videos, I would love for you to do this as well. Or whenever you guys do it, just comment, let me know. That way I can go check out your video and see what your ride or die favorites are. So with that being said, I tag all of you guys to do it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch my videos. I mean, really, seriously, thank you guys for just watching my videos. Even if you're not subscribed, even if you never comment, thumbs up or anything, I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy day to watch my videos. I really, truly do appreciate it. Thank you to those of you who always leave me such nice, positive comments. You are the reason that I continue making new videos and always asking you guys what you want to see, because I obviously want to make videos that you guys enjoy watching, and it just makes me very happy to hear that you guys really enjoy my videos as much as I enjoy making them for you. So again, thank you guys so much. I think we are almost kind of nearing 18,000, which is like mind-blowing to me. Thank you guys. It's just, I don't know, I didn't even think like 100 people would subscribe to my channel. The fact that over 17,000 of you have is like beyond me. So again, I just really wanted to thank you guys because I just don't feel like I say it enough. But yeah, I feel like I've just talked a lot in this video. So I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!